Live from Peoria, Arizona, you are listening to Breakthrough Thinking. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Dave Isaac, and I am the host. And this hour is sponsored by the Phoenix Metro Chamber. Every third Wednesday of the month, we'll have discussions from members of various different industries. And I'm really excited this time, our debut of the Phoenix Metro Chamber Radio Hour. We have Danielle Cruz and Sue Chamberlain. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thank
Dave.
you. Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. This is exciting. First of all, I want to make some comments, and maybe you also want to. The Phoenix Metro Chamber, fastest growing chamber in the state of Arizona. Jason Bressler, unbelievable, best networker I've ever seen. They are just smoking it out here. I shouldn't say smoking it because I don't know that for sure. I'm just kidding. Smoking in a way that they're just going past their competition.
Non-carcinogenic.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So, and both of you are members. I think we're all on the marketing committee.
We are.
Have I missed any? I think I may have. I don't know. I haven't seen you guys in months.
You missed last week.
Oh, I knew it. Okay, so Greg, you better take my place on that one. Anyway, we're talking about probably one of the most important parts of a successful business today. And as a CPA, this is something I'm not well versed in, but I'm excited for today's show because I'm going to learn a lot, and the listeners will learn a lot as well. And if you're not either knowledgeable or working with an expert in social media, then you're falling behind. And guess what? Look at some of the newspapers. Look at some of the things that are now dinosaurs that are no longer in existence because of social media. And let's just start off the discussion. Actually, before we start, Daniel, why don't you start on your background a bit, and just so people can get to know you.
Well, 2006, I started doing some technical things on the internet. My company I'd worked for sent me to a class to learn a program called Dreamweaver, which is a web design platform. And I started writing code, and maybe a year later, I think in 2007, I kind of jumped on Facebook and started doing some social media things. And it kind of evolved over the years, but really reached a head when I was launching a book that I had written about a year ago, and it kind of just pushed me into this whole social media marketing arena.
And the book was about social media?
Well, no, the book wasn't about social media. The book was about adoption, but I was self-publishing and promoting this book, so
Wow.
it really kind of took a lot out of me. It pushed me toward what I'm doing now, which is social media marketing.
Just to market the book.
To market the
book.
book.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm actually using those services to market other books and to other people's social media as well.
Wow, we're going to have to learn more about the adoption thing from the lawyer from Russia. Anyway, that was my attempt at a joke that she said Donald Jr. did talk about adoption from the lawyer from Russia. That'll be a movie someday. Okay, and of course you're the marketing director for Biltmore Media.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit, and then we'll get to Sue, what you do briefly in terms of social media.
So as the marketing director for the Biltmore Media, which is a company that I founded, we have a very specific menu of services, all focused on the local business owner. We offer social media management with a product that I call Facebook Facelift. We also do email marketing and lead generation with another product I created called Lead Machine. And then we do local SEO, which is the product called Help My Yelp, which we use our Yelp analytics to help local businesses get found on Yelp and drive traffic to their establishments.
We're going to talk more about that later. That sounds really fascinating. Sue Chamberlain, SC Squared Marketing Group. I love the name. I can't calculate the SC Squared, however, unless I knew the numbers involved. But tell us a little bit about your background and what specifically you do.
Okay. Well, my background was in primarily the financial industry. I spent 28 years in the banking side of the financial industry. So working a lot with small business owners, and that's where my passion is today as well. From there, and after a wonderful 28 years, I retired from the banking industry and went into the print industry. And I spent about 10 years there. My parents were actually printers. They owned a print group, lithographic group, with the very old dinosaur, the big machines, that the Heidelbergs that you don't hear much about today. And then after that, I went on to found my own group, marketing group, because I'm an old marketing dog from way back when. And I focused on traditional marketing, but, as we, like Daniel, got into the 2006, 7, and 8s, Facebook and LinkedIn were becoming very popular on the scene. And so today my company has migrated to what I call integrated marketing. So we do a lot of online things.
That's awesome. And do you find with both you and Daniel here that people are beginning to realize the power of social media, or are they still behind the times in general, the general population? Daniel, you first.
Many people don't, a lot of times don't even realize they're using social media. I know they equate social media and Facebook with the internet. My mother, for example, is on the Facebook all the time. Every day she's on it. She's constantly reposting and posting things on.
So she's just
Facebook.
posting like emotions and.
She's
a lot of
reposting
people
a lot
do
of
that.
things, everything. She posts a lot of things on Facebook, but people really equate Facebook nowadays with the internet itself.
Sure.
1 out of every 5 clicks on the internet is Facebook. So people are no longer separating the two. It's kind of they look at Facebook as the internet.
That's interesting. And Sue, are you finding that there's a lot of education out there for people? They just don't understand either the power of it or what it really is and what it can do.
Actually, there are many classes out there that you can take for the novice to get interested and get involved with using Facebook or LinkedIn or some of the other channels that are out there. I myself like the LinkedIn group. A lot of my clients are what we consider B2B. They are selling business-to-business services. And that's a really good channel for them to use for networking and getting the word out there on their expertise in whatever field they're working in.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Social media. What does it mean? What are the components of social media? We talked a little bit already. Facebook, and there's Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest. Video. Are there other things? I think there's a lot more than that, and it just depends if it's going to benefit you. But how would you describe some of the components of social media, Daniel?
Well, there's several different channels or outlets is what we would call them for social media. You have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, each one of those having their own native type of communication on the platform. But nowadays, those are going to be equated to the old NBC, CBS, ABC of television. So they're just different platforms with different native languages, so to speak, for each of those platforms, and they have different purposes. There's different purposes for LinkedIn than there is for Instagram and Facebook, for example.
So it's important to know what the purpose is to match up with your business strategy. And Sue, video is important to you, and that would be a component of social media, maybe putting it on YouTube, on a website. We haven't even talked about websites. That's got to be, I'm guessing, social media.
Absolutely.
So how that works out well for you too with the video on the YouTube, I suspect.
Absolutely. So you can actually put video on any of those channels, and you really should try to coordinate that with the target audience that you're trying to get to. Video is very important. It's, in fact, 2017 is going to be the year of video, and 2018 and beyond, you'll see a big increase in a lot of marketers increasing their budgets for video content creation and video campaigns. So it's important because it's hard to hold people's attention. They don't like to read a lot. They like to simply get on whatever station or channel they're on, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, a website. Take a look at a video for something that they're interested in. Maybe they're shopping for something in particular. And it's hard to hold people's attention. So video is one way to do that. And as Ernest Hemingway said, show the readers everything and tell them nothing. So we want to have people tell their story, and video's a great way to do that. Salespeople have caught on to that because it's shortened their sales cycle.
Which makes sense. I was talking to someone that I've known a long time, and he's in social media. He does a lot of this stuff that both you do. And he asked me a question. He goes, how's your buying behavior different than it was 30 years ago? And I never really thought of it. And I go, yeah, I'm online a lot. Look at Amazon, for example. Same-day delivery very often. I mean, who would have ever thought of that? Mm-hmm. Same-day delivery. So, and then he goes, now, what are your selling strategies? He goes, do you sell differently? And most people will say no. So they're out of touch. It seems like to me. Any comments on that, Daniel?
Well, the traditional definition of marketing really encompasses a lot of different things, from advertising to sales. It kind of leaves social media out of it. I was going to bring in some old textbooks, really not old,
Sure.
But some textbooks that have some things that would be considered current normally. But I'll just give you a kind of a synopsis of my understanding of marketing, and because it's the word marketing is attached to social media marketing.
Right.
But it really gives us doesn't give us a proper definition of it. So with the traditional definition of marketing, it has several components, but the summary would go something like, if the circus was coming to town, for example, if you painted a big sign saying circus coming to town, Saturday, 10 o'clock, everyone be there, that would be called advertising. That's one component, and we're all familiar with advertising.
That's right.
But you put that sign on the back of an elephant and run it through the center of town, it's called promotion.
And maybe illegal.
Yeah, it may be illegal, maybe torturing animals, making them do that, exactly. Driving them to the center of town.
Especially Phoenix with this weather.
Yeah.
But I understand. I like what this analogy's going.
So the elephant runs through the mayor's yard and tramples his flower garden, and the local news covers it. That would be publicity. Now, if you get the mayor to laugh about it, that's called PR, or public relations. And if you get a lot of people eventually to come out to the circus and tell them how much fun they're going to have, and with the exhibits and rides, and tell them about all the delicious fried food that they're going to eat.
Yes.
And ultimately get them to spend a lot of money at the circus, that's called sales.
Or the county fair.
Or the fair.
With the fried food.
And if you planned all that, then that's marketing. So
see, that's an interesting analogy. I love that. And is that what you do? Is that you combine all these components, or do you specialize in just a few of them?
No, we don't. I really stay away from all of the way that we would traditionally define
Gotcha.
All of those components. And to simplify it, I usually have my clients just separate their marketing efforts into two different things, which is the transactional and non-transactional tasks.
And what would be examples of those two?
Well, so the non-transactional efforts I call sharing, or the rapport building of the sales cycle. We don't usually promote any products at this point, but just talk shop and give them information that's going to be relevant or educational and shareable on their...
So like a resource center.
Things that you would put on Facebook, things that are going to be interesting to your audience and be shareable with your audience.
Okay.
And the transactional efforts we call sales, which that's all of the lead generation and the customer conversion portion. And in those, there's always like a sort of call to action. So we might have a email campaign that directs a client's customers to a landing page or someplace where they can request information or a phone call that the salesperson can then create an appointment.
And you use these two with the elements of social media to generate the results.
We do. So those channels that I had mentioned early on, the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, those are all going to be the sharing portion of the cycle. So we're not selling anything or really promoting any products with social media. That is kind of reserved for the sales portion, which is the email campaign.
That's interesting. I like that. Now, as part of social media, we have. Well, I use something called Constant Contact. Sue, have you heard of that?
Absolutely.
And
For email marketing.
Yeah, you like it? Is that
yes,
one
there's
of
a number of companies out there. Constant Contact's been around for probably a little longer than others.
It seems pretty good. I've enjoyed that, and but your particular one of your fields is, of course, the video part of social media, and tell us a little bit about that. I think that's. People like visual stuff, first of all, and I think it's probably more effective than other areas. So, how would you describe video marketing, for example?
Right. So, really, fellow marketers and thought leaders agree that when they describe current combination of social media and video, it's a perfect marriage for them. And many of those marketing teams will be producing in 2018 and beyond. More than half of their content is going to be video. And the reason for that, people are overstimulated already on the web. And so what do you do with an overstimulated public? You want to catch their attention quickly from awareness to sales. And so whether it's companies are pretty much different in sizes and budget, but in the end, they're all pursuing similar marketing goals. And so with my clients, I tell them they should be explaining their product or service. We try to help them build their brand trust. And also, of course, with their sales team, they're trying to close more sales. So a way to do this is through video. It's very effective. Nearly 52% of marketers worldwide are choosing video as a content of choice because it returns the best return on investment. So here's a statistic. People love video. On average, the video content is shared on social media channels 12 times more than regular images. So that's why it's so popular. And even more interesting, 65% of consumers are more likely to buy a product or service after watching a marketing video. And marketing videos tend to boost those conversion rates, which is what my clients love. And those rates can go up anywhere from 15 to 75%. So you can see how popular video is, and it's not going to stop there.
And, it's interesting. Restaurants have picked up on this with their menus and put pictures of some of their food. And I think that helps. Don't you think?
It does.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're visual. But I think that's sort of interesting. That's been happening for a while now. The video, where do you use that usually? I mean, I'm thinking of ways. Well, certainly your website, YouTube. Can you cut and paste and send a video to people too?
You can definitely put it on all channels. We recommend that you put it on the channels that you're using for your marketing mix on social media. So whether that's your company Facebook or your personal LinkedIn page, if you're a professional such as an attorney.
Oh, you can put it on LinkedIn?
Absolutely. Put posts there. Many people on LinkedIn are involved in a particular industry group. So to do their networking there, the best way to get people's attention is to post a 30-second video. Good way to do that. But we also cross more channels than that. We want to get those videos, whether it's for describing a product, educating your client, updating them on some particular news item, whatever it might be, building your brand trust. We want that on their website for sure. That's number one. And number two, incorporate that into the blogs that you're using as well. And then move on to email marketing, because email marketing, it used to be very content intensive, a lot of writing, and people don't like to read. So they like a quick a quick fix per se, and they like to look at something for 10 to 30 seconds and get the point that they're trying to appeal to, whether it's for buying something or just for learning something.
So can you put that on Constant Contact? That's the email.
You sure can.
You can
post it up on any of the
Interesting.
the email channels or marketing providers that are out
Wow.
there. There's quite a few.
You know what just popped into my mind? It's a dangerous thing. No, Facebook Live. We even talked about that.
Yeah.
What's your opinion, Daniel, on that? I mean, that seems really interesting to me. We've done it with NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 KDUS. And, in fact, we just did it last week at Twin Peaks. Greg was doing some Facebook Live. Is that going to – I don't see a lot of it, but it seems like it could be really a good thing, right?
It is. It's a trending thing on Facebook. It kind of gives you an instant notification when you have someone who you've friended or you're following is doing a live event. It gives some urgency of wanting to watch it live. There's something about watching it live that's different than watching a recorded portion of it. But video, just having the visual stimulation rather than just reading about something, you're actually seeing something happen. That's going to have far bigger impact to your audience than any other media.
Especially since we were doing Facebook Live with Miss Arizona.
Well,
That was an added dimension. Greg was the lucky one that got to do that. I was still on the air describing it like a championship bout. But anyway, no, I think it's sort of a cool deal. I did that actually up in South Dakota with the United Bowl. So if you're in a unique place where maybe other places can't get to or, traditional TV, it's certainly an interesting way to get it out to the public, which is, I think, really cool.
certainly is.
Now, so Daniel, let's talk a little bit about, what you're doing as well. I mean, you, of course, social media management, email marketing, lead generation. But something that I really find interesting, it's called Help My Yelp. What the heck is Help My Yelp?
Well, Yelp is one of the few social media platforms that's on the more transactional side of our cycle. So the way I describe Yelp is it's the modern-day Yellow Pages. So if you remember what the Yellow Pages were or
Big
are
book.
Still, big book with yellow pages.
I think they had white pages, too. I
Yeah,
forgot what that
do.
was for.
Yeah, but all the pages in there that would be encompassing. That's what Yelp would be.
They had one thing I was disappointed. They didn't have one thing I was very disappointed.
What
They
was
didn't
that?
A centerfold.
A center. No, they didn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't have that. So.
All right.
Another
That's
second
maybe why they're
attempt
out
of a joke. Okay.
business.
But yeah, so it's a modern day. I don't even know who would use the Yellow Pages anymore. That's craziness, in my opinion.
I don't think anybody would use the Yellow Pages anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But Help My Yelp.
So it's a transactional platform. It's the modern day Yellow Pages, and most people would be familiar with Yelp because of its integration with your Apple iPhone. So anytime that if you've ever used Siri, which I'm sure you have if you have an iPhone, that is integrated, or it's indexing out of the Yelp platform. Think about it when you're at lunchtime, when you have a car full of people and you ask Siri, find me Mexican food. Well,
Right.
It's going to be indexing Yelp, and you're looking for something you're going to consume now. It's transactional. You're ready
Right.
to buy Mexican food now, or ready to buy whatever you're searching for now, rather than doing.
And Yelp
research
is a search
for it
engine that will come up with the answer for you.
It is, and it's based on
Only on
reviews.
Apple?
No, it's one of the largest, or it is the largest review-based search engines on the internet. So much larger than even Google, which Google consumes the internet. But this is a transactional point of sale type of search engine.
How about Samsung?
Samsung.
No Siri, I don't think, on this.
No Siri on
I think it
Samsung.
has something, though, but
you can use Yelp on Samsung.
So that will
Yelp
work,
is
too.
used on every different device.
Man.
So the product that we offer, called Help My Yelp,
Yeah.
is what we do is optimize your Yelp visibility and get you found when it matters most, which is when your customers are ready to buy, when they're in the car ready to get turn-by-turn directions to your restaurant.
So how does that? So it's more than just a yellow page listing, because somehow does. So whatever you do to help my Yelp and customize to get it like the top of the list, the front of the line, is that how Yelp will, in that order, point out the best favorable restaurants per review first, or by geographical location, or is it? How does that work?
Yelp has its own algorithm, just like Google has its own algorithm of how it determines what you're really looking for. It's not always going to give you the best or highest reviews or the establishment with the most reviews, but it's going to give you a mix of what you're looking for with the respect with the amount of reviews, the quality of the reviews, and also the geographic location. So it's taking a lot of things into account as it directs you to gives you phone numbers and turn-by-turn directions to a place that you may or may not want to go. And there's ads as well, so you can actually have ads that will show up ahead of the search
So
results.
it's sort of a unique weighted average of various elements to come up with who's number one on Yelp.
It is unique.
It sounds
it is, and it takes a lot of things into account when it giving you those results.
Now the yellow pages, though, if you take it further, I think at every, let's say, restaurant, let's say in this case a Mexican restaurant, does Yelp have every restaurant and they'll place it in order, or only that meet their criteria?
No, it doesn't have every restaurant. You typically have to go and establish your own business on Yelp unless someone else does it. Say if they're checking into your restaurant or establishment, they can create an entity by just checking into a location.
Wow, okay. So that sounds valuable, especially in certain industries, maybe not others, but certainly restaurants, maybe retail, I guess, would be a big one.
Actually, some of the biggest, some of the businesses that have the most to gain from getting found on Yelp are the HVAC, the AC heating and cooling businesses. They actually, it's very important that they be on Yelp because they're finding a person who needs their AC fixed now, which is essentially the way that those companies do business. And we can help with that.
Wow! So that I didn't think of that, but you're right. That's a major call to action. Your air conditioning goes out about right now, which is July 19th, 2017.
Yes.
110 degrees isn't the most fun.
They want someone right away.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and it has ratings, so at least you can say
it has ratings. You can find out their phone number, their location, and their availability quicker than you can indexing it on Google.
So they're like Angie's List?
Similar. Angie's List is another social media outlet on the transactional side. So
they don't even charge anymore, I don't think.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, I think they went away from that and probably have other ads. Interesting creativity. Now, Sue, going back to video marketing, there's so many ways to use social media, and we're talking, of course, to Daniel Cruz and Sue Chamberlain right now, experts in the social media arena. So let's talk a little bit about video marketing. I don't think it's just a trend. I think this is going to be here for a long time.
For a long time. And basically, one of the things that I'm doing with my clients is using it for lead generation and qualification. So videos can easily become active lead generative tools by just putting an email gate into the start of your video, or perhaps a lead collection form adding that to the end of it. And actually, video is probably one of the easiest mediums to score and see what's your rate of return going to be
on
this investment. Well, there's companies out there that will show you video analytics as part of your marketing automation, that it'll integrate with marketing automation and with your CRM, your client relationship management system as well. So video really converts better than any other content types. However, fewer than 10% of marketers are using video analytics. This is the sort of the end product of the video marketing platform, and so that's something that's coming into play more and more. But one of the things I'd like to talk about, if people are interested in getting involved in video marketing campaigns, is what questions do you need to ask yourself before you even get involved? Because video really moves us. It can elicit, really emotional responses. And just consider, iconic movements in sports, as in the Cubs winning the World Series last year. So even more than television. So it's no wonder, brands worldwide and companies of all sizes are experimenting with video. But one of the very first questions you should ask yourself is, what is the purpose of my campaign? A lot of people say, video can't be that hard. Let's do a video. Well, okay, if you don't have a vision for what your video and final product is going to be about, it's all going to fall apart. So that's one of the very first questions you should be asking yourself. And then from there, you'd want to ask, now we know what our vision is. What's the content going to be? What are we going to put into this? What is the form of the content going to be? And who is our target audience? So there's different strokes for different folks and different types of videos. The third question you might want to consider is, what should the production quality be? People are carrying their cell phones with them, and they can quickly do a video, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, very easily. But you have to consider the quality and, again, who your target audience is going to be. So sometimes you might want to hire a professional videographer to get those down pat and to help you with scripting and teleprompting as well. The fourth question I would say is, where should I distribute my video? And here's where the social media comes into play. So definitely you want to publish it on your website. YouTube is really good for getting information out there as well. And then depending upon your audience, a blended distribution with social media, Facebook and LinkedIn would be great as well. So, and then finally, the fifth question you need to answer is, what should I measure once the video campaign is live? And here's where the new video analytics come into play. So just like email metrics, where you can measure the opens, the click-throughs, whatnot, you can very easily measure the video and its metrics as well, with the number of impressions. That would be the number of opportunities someone has for watching the video. The number of views, that would be the number of times somebody watches the video. And the play rate, that's how you measure of how engaging your video is, and did you do a good job on getting the message done. And then finally, the engagement rate, which is a signal of when the viewership drops off. So you can pretty well manage your video and go back and make adjustments just by looking at some of those ratios there. So my conclusion is that video campaigns have a lot in common with traditional digital marketing campaigns. So you shouldn't be intimidated by it. Give it a start. And if you don't think that you can do it yourself or in-house, then, again, hire a professional videographer and a marketing group that can help you with the scripting and really the overall strategy, because that's where it all begins. If you don't have your strategy down, everything's going to fall apart.
And that leads me perfectly to my next question. It's almost like we rehearsed this, but we did not. I'm thinking, okay, you both probably have some small, mid-sized businesses. Am I right about that, or do you also large type?
Small.
Small
okay.
to medium.
So small to medium or small. So the question I have, and I bet the listeners have the same question, is when you get involved in this, I mean, a small company, and I guess we should define what small means to you, Daniel. What's small mean?
1 to 25 employees.
1 to 25 employees. Okay.
$500,000 or less.
Okay.
Agree. I would agree.
So you both have the same definition. Okay. The question is, in-house full-time person, in-house part-time person, or hiring experts like yourself to do that. And to get a general idea, what would a small business, as you defined it, 1 to 25 employees, 500,000, I think you said, roughly. Or less. What should they budget annually for that particular expertise? I mean,
as a rule of thumb,
yeah.
Any company, big or small, wants to allocate 15% of their net revenue or their 15% of their profits to marketing, which
of the net, okay,
of the profits.
And if they have zero net,
then it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough.
They're taking it out through maybe wages,
dig deep, right, or barter.
Well, yeah, there are some bartering companies, but it's a matter of creating the priority.
They do have to create a priority. They do, and a lot of times the solopreneurs or the person out there on their own, real estate agent, insurance agent, mortgage broker, looks at all of their net revenue coming in as just their paycheck, which is very easy to do. But rather than looking at it as a business and allocating a certain amount of profits or net revenue to marketing, they kind of just really fly by the seat of their pants, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's normally the mid to larger size businesses that have budgets for marketing and things like that.
Yeah, this is the challenge round now. We just made this up, but it sounds good, the challenge round. As a CPA, I'm thinking, okay, so I have some clients that might be at $200,000 net, that fits your criteria. I may have someone at $10,000 net. So I'm thinking, let me just throw this out there. That's a huge difference. Let's say someone at $100,000, $15,000, and someone with $10,000, $1,500. Huge difference. And annually, there's not much you could do for $1,500 a year, I don't think. So,
no.
Would it be a better is there another criteria other just based on that? Because I think the listeners may not know to improve their net income, but and maybe that's why their net income is low, because they don't have the marketing strategies, social media. But what would let's say a 5-person firm, let's say at let's say $100,000 a year, what should they spend? I think this is a very important part of their business. And maybe approach it that way. What do you think it would take? I know it just depends, but let's say they're very novice. They don't know anything about social media. What type of time, we'll start with you, Daniel, and then Sue. What do you think it would take? What could they expect to spend on that despite the net income?
Well, we at Biltmore Media, I'm working on a product called Lead Machine, which is something for some of the solopreneurs and the real estate agents and the mortgage brokers, insurance agents, to be able to come in at a lower price point.
Gotcha.
And to engage in social media marketing, but for lead generation. A lot of times long time ago, 15 years ago, I was a life insurance agent at New York Life, and we would just buy leads. That's what we want. Just tell me how much they are, I'll buy them, and then we would get whatever the ROI was on that. But with this lead generation platform that I've created called Lead Machine, it allows a lower price point for some of those solopreneurs and MLM agents and representatives to come in to get some of the benefits of social media and to get some advice from a social media expert without having a budget that they're coming out of pocket with every month.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a nice solution. So what about you? Same question in terms of what would one expect to spend under that scenario, $100,000, 5 people?
Right. Well, I would agree with Daniel and what he's doing, and he sounds like he's got a really great product there. Again, I work with quite a few B2B companies, so those would be professionals like attorneys, realtors, doctors, financial people in that realm, investment advisors. So not to take away from my company and how we can help them, but one of the things that I would recommend is to see what their own groups that they represent. For instance, if they're an insurance agent, whatever company they're working through, they may have a particular group or of services in social media that they can offer to their agents. So I always tell them to take advantage of that, because a lot of those things are pre-approved by their corporate offices, and especially if you're in the financial investment arena, that has to be even more approved as well. So that's one of the things that they can do through their own company at a very low cost. But here's the catch. The one thing that you want to be careful of is to make sure that you have someone in your office, if not yourself, and of course if you're the principal, you're going to be very busy out there meeting with clients and selling and whatnot. But have someone in the office that can manage the social media and to schedule it, and more than that, to keep track of what are the comments coming back, how can I respond to those. So you definitely have to have an in-house person or someone like our company or Daniel's company that can manage that for you. So if you're not looking, you're not going to be able to track those leads.
Yes, Daniel.
And that is part of the lead generation component of what we do with Lead Machine, is we offer a turnkey product where we can have a client come in at a lower price point and to be able to use our software in order to manage their own social media. So all of the posting, being able to have a proper posting schedule, and mostly just to get the advice of a professional on how to do things. They're going to learn a lot, and they're going to generate leads.
I like that. Yeah. So you're trying to accommodate, various groups to affordability standpoint. And I remember actually there's a rule of thumb even with CPAs. What percentage would one expect to pay annually, and they base it on gross and not net, because it should be a component cost of everything. And I think it was like 2% or something of their gross, which the bigger companies, that could be a lot. Little companies, not so much, but they probably don't need as much. But it is interesting, because I think people need to do this. They need to fill the role, like what Sue, you said, at least have someone manage it. It doesn't have to be full time, but someone has to have the role, the responsibility to do it. So I think this is, can you believe it? We're out of time already? What the heck happened? You guys thought it would be, what? We have to go this long and talk? And we could probably go hours more. I really think we could.
We could.
And I'm going to leave you with a question that might be for part 2, if or when we have a part 2. And I think we will have a part 2.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will sophisticated technology and greater opportunity in technology ever replace talent and mindset?
You want us to answer that now?
I don't know. Yeah, let's do a quick answer, and that could be a whole topic in itself, because I have my own opinion on that. Sue, go first.
Okay. Well, you definitely have to have the technology. You can have all the brains and the information, that you want to push out there. But if you don't have the technology to do it, it's going to be a little difficult to do that, and it's going to be more time-consuming as well.
No doubt. And Daniel?
I think we already see technology replacing talent in a lot of different industries. Now a person can, one talented person can do the work of 10 talented people. A kid in his bedroom can produce a record, can produce a hit song with technology. And so that's really replacing a lot of people that are musicians and a lot of different talented people with one talented person. You look at Ed Sheeran, that he recorded all of the instruments on a few of his tracks himself. He did the vocals, he did the bass, the guitar, the drums, the violin. He did it all himself, and that's one talented person replacing a band of maybe 4 or 5 other talented people. So I think we already see it.
So that's interesting. So this could be another topic, and I'll leave it until next time, where I probably disagree to a certain extent on talent and mindset, quantity versus quality, and you both make great points. I agree with both of what you said. There's no doubt that technology can do that. It just depends how you define talent and mindset, and there's certain areas of what would be called self-imposed limitations. Technology I don't think will ever replace that. There's other ways to get to the unconscious mind to raise above your self-imposed limitations. I'll leave it at that. This has been an amazing discussion. We have Daniel Cruz from Biltmore Media. He's a marketing director. Sue Chamberlain, SC Squared Marketing Group. Daniel, how do they get in touch with you?
They can email me. I would say they could call me, but it might be a while before I got back with them. But the email is daniel@biltmoremedia.com.
That's easy, right?
That's easy. Daniel@biltmoremedia.com.
Not Danielson.
Not Danielson. That's
one of my favorite
3 sons.
Oh, Danielson?
Daniel's sons.
Oh, Daniel's sons. You remember that, The Karate Kid.
We watch it all the time.
I love it.
Yeah.
You mean you watch the movies constantly?
Yeah.
Or is it a
first
TV
one.
show now? Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, they did have 4 or maybe 5. But anyway, and Sue Chamberlain, SC Squared Marketing Group, how do they get in touch with you?
Okay, they can email me as well, and my email is sue@sc2marketinggroup.com. And if you do email me, in the subject line, type in guidebook and infographic in the subject line, and I will send you a video marketing guidebook as well as an infographic on some of the questions you need to ask yourself prior to getting involved in video.
Wow. And people can always hear this on breakradioshow.com under archives, under Phoenix Metro Chamber of Commerce, and that's the category. Well, thank you both, Daniel Cruz, Sue Chamberlain. This is Breakthrough Thinking Broadcasting Network. You're more than welcome. We'll be on once a month specifically for the Phoenix Metro Chamber every third Wednesday. Harris also on NBC Sports, AM 1060 KDUS, every Saturday from 12 noon to 3 p.m. And signing off. Have a great week.